This is Wholesaling Houses Elite, the no fluff and BS podcast with tips and tricks to help you become an elite wholesaler. Our guest will spill the beans on what it takes to be the best.
This podcast is brought to you by Lead Gen Pros, making it incredibly easy for the average real estate investor and business owner to get more leads. They work with a variety of companies who specialize in real estate investing and who are looking for a systemized way to increase their lead flow and grow their business. If that sounds like you, check out theleadgenpros.com.
Hey, what's up, guys? It's Maxwell, and welcome to another podcast. I have some special guests in front of me. I know I say it every time, but these guys are like my friends I've known before I've gotten to real estate business, and they're in the real estate business. So if you're watching right now on YouTube, press the thumbs up before you even get to the video. If you're on iTunes, I appreciate you. Make sure when you're done, give us a 5-star rating. That's the only thing I ask for you. But let's get this thing started. First of all, welcome. Well, you guys may know these two as Mr. Sippy and Big Sip, right? Better known as Brent and Adam, right?
Yeah, that's it.
So introduce yourself. Where are you guys from?
Well, I'm Brent Marino, Mr. Sippy. Originally from Mississippi, lived all over, traveled all over. Met you on the road.
We met years ago on the road traveling.
It's probably been at least 5 years by now.
Yeah. Crazy how things change in 5 years. Let's just say that.
Drastically.
Pretty nuts. So, I did that for a long time. And when I saw Max getting into real estate, I immediately texted him. I was like, hey,
what are you doing?
Come across something, let me know. I want to buy or partner with it or something like that. And he's like, dude, I don't need cash. Mm-hmm. It's like, what are you talking about? I didn't know what wholesaling was. So drove up to Winston Salem when I was living in Columbia, South Carolina, spent a couple of days. And then I called this guy. And he was like, because I've known him for like 6 years, and I knew he did real estate. And I was like, dude, you ever heard of wholesaling? Oh, yeah, I do it all the time.
But what? So sorry, introduce yourself.
Didn't share it. Didn't tell me anything about it.
Well,
I think he was
introduce
scared.
yourself first.
Adam Johnson. You may know me as Big Sip, but October 11th will actually be my 17-year anniversary.
17 years in the real estate business. But if I slightly remember the history, you kind of telling him about real estate a little bit. No, not at all.
Unfortunately, I had been down that road with everybody.
And you just said, I'm not doing it.
And I was done. Because it was, right? Everybody wants the result without the work that goes into it. And man, I tried and finally just said, you know what?
I ain't telling nobody else.
I'm done.
It makes sense. So you've been in this business 17 years. You've been in it shortly after I got in it, pretty much.
2.5.
Yeah, shortly. Yeah. So let's see. In 2 days is my 3-year anniversary of our first contract. But I mean, so you guys are in Mississippi, right? Small market.
Well, believe it or not, there's actually a few houses down there.
Is it? Like real houses,
real ones.
So I get this question a lot. What do I do if I'm in a small market? Can I just do virtually somewhere else?
Well, you can, but you definitely don't have to.
Yeah.
And I tell people that all the time because every house is owned by somebody, and somebody is the big landlord there. Somebody is flipping houses there.
Look, I mean, even in my hometown of where I grew up, which there's no red lights in the entire county, I know of at least 2 people who are well known in that county for constantly buying, flipping, and renting properties. That's all they've always had that as a side hustle. Even they've done extremely well. They own like half the freaking county. But there's always that. If you're in a small town, there's that one guy. Yeah, there's always a couple guys. Yeah.
Well, and the thing is that a lot of times those people are, if they're already established, they don't want to go do the grind anymore. And there's a perfect. I think the small town is. I mean, obviously you've got to have some kind of population.
Yeah.
But I mean, heck, look at Sean. Sean was in our very first mentorship program, and I think the whole county has like 42,000 people, and he's done an apartment complex, 2 package deals of 16 houses, and I think another 30 contracts.
He's. I mean, I'd be fair to say he's over 200,000 on the year.
Oh yeah,
easily.
Yeah, he could stop right now
in a tiny market, and he works full time.
So there goes anybody listening to this podcast right now that had some excuses in your brain some things telling yourself about the small market you live in, we're not going to hear that.
There's no excuses. Works full time, has a wife,
A happy
four
wife.
kids, a happy wife, and 4 kids.
And he still managed to make extra $200,000 on the side.
Yeah.
Yeah, which he's making way more than he is at his job. He's making more than his boss is making, but he just likes the stability, the insurance, and he wants everything. He wants to. He has a plan, right?
Yeah.
He knows he has that limit to where he's going to get to.
Everybody does their own thing.
Once he has enough, his plan I think is once he has enough passive to replace his current job is when he's going to.
Which isn't going to be long.
No, it won't be
Yeah.
long.
He's been taking back master leases on the apartments. He's been wholesaling.
Yeah.
Matt, whole nother. Don't get me started on this. So Adam's been in this business for 17 years, but he has a great mentor in his father that, teaches him all this type of creative stuff. I remember when Brent texted me of the app in the calculator store. I mean, the calculator in the app store. I have it. I paid probably $15 for it. I can't remember what it was. I still haven't used it because it's too confusing. Before you leave, tell me how to do something simple on there.
Absolutely.
So we can at least get some use out of it.
That calculator will help you make millions of dollars.
I forget where we picked it up from, but that's one of the things is that making money can make you rich. Mm-hmm. Making a return can make you really wealthy. And learning that calculator is what does it as far as learning how to calculate that return.
So let's put this out there. You love creative financing deals. You love those. You're a genius at those things. I think that is your strong suit probably to this relationship you guys have, this
the
business
blood
relationship.
out of the turnip kind of thing.
Yeah. And you know how to punch numbers and see your return and make sure everything that works well. You guys have been business partners. I remember when you were in South Carolina, you ended up moving back home down to Mississippi. How many deals did you guys do collectively last year?
63.
Yeah, did you do some in South Carolina last year?
I did.
That was Mississippi numbers.
So 63 deals just in Mississippi
Yeah.
alone last year, and then you're having a great year this year as well.
Yeah.
That just blows my mind because a lot of people just saying they can't do deals in small markets. So, but let's talk about the type of deals you guys are doing. Are you doing traditional wholesale deals? Are you doing what kind of stuff are you doing?
How long do we have? We do everything.
Yeah,
it's whatever gets the deals done.
Yeah, traditional wholesale. We'll wholesale occasionally. We'll flip
Mm-hmm.
if it's a really good flip opportunity. We will buy and hold. We'll owner finance out and owner finance to ourselves. All kinds of stuff. So pretty much anything.
Wow.
If it makes a return.
If it's legal and it makes financial sense, we've probably done it.
Yeah.
And that makes perfect sense. So recently, tell me about a deal. I'll take one from you and then one from you that you've liked and it's creative or something like that, and kind of tell me how that went.
My favorite one is probably one of the most simple ones is the fact that we just partner with the seller. So we had one instance in one of our markets that they were a couple payments behind or facing foreclosure. The situation was they had 2 houses. His father passed away, left him a house. So they had the house that they had, and then he wanted to move to his dad's house and use a bunch of money to fix it up, and then come back and fix up the other house. Mm-hmm. Ran out of money. Couldn't fix up the other house. It sat there. It was in really rough shape, so they couldn't sell it on the open market, not for anyone to get a mortgage on it because it was in really bad shape. But it was like a 3,500 square foot house, gorgeous, in a beautiful neighborhood, right on a little pond. And so what we did was we partnered with him. We took over subject to. Mm-hmm. So we took over the payments, caught it up. And while we did that, all we did was put the money in for the rehab, which was about $75,000, and we ended up making, probably about
It was around 50, I think.
Yeah, about 50,000. So, but we only had
75 to make 50.
Only 75 to make 50 versus what we
Having
did
to purchase it
and go that direction. And on top of that, we told them that based on where we sell it, we'll give you anywhere between $8,000 to $10,000. Based on where was it 5 to 8?
You did all the hard work.
5 to 8.
5 to 8, right. So if it sells for more than this, we'll give you $8,000. If it sells for less, we'll give you $5,000, basically. So we gave him like a sliding scale.
Got it. I like that.
And he got the full 8, which
he
was
still
not written down
And he
anywhere.
still calls him and says, "Thank you so much. Like, please make sure you have people call me whenever you need somebody, like need a reference."
Wow.
I've called him a few times
They
now.
probably still do references like that in Mississippi, right?
Oh, I called him the other day, put him on speakerphone. I was talking to somebody about terms, and they were like, well, we probably want to talk to some of your references. I said, great. I'll call one right now, put it on speakerphone. I said, hey, how's your wife doing? I know she had her back surgery.
Who you think's getting that deal?
Well, ain't nobody else but you. So what about you, Adam? What type of deal have you had here recently that you just, you kind of like? One, Adam.
Right. Well, there was one deal.
That's the thing. There can be one deal with multiple properties involved. So, go ahead.
We did have one deal that was real crazy. We bought it via owner financing, 0% interest. And then we did some early payouts with her where we gave her like 10 for 12, which is a great return. You pay 10 payments all at one time, and you get credit for the next 12, which is a 35% return on your money.
Calculator would tell me that?
Yeah. Yeah, 35.07 is what the calculator will tell you. It's a little more exact than my figures. But yeah, so 35% return. We had done that twice. And then there was another piece of property we bought that had an encumbrance issue. So a guy owned 3 acres.
And that's a lien, encumbrance type of lien or something?
Well, I have a magnet for just the crazy stuff.
Yeah.
So this guy had 2 parcels, a 2-acre parcel and a 3-acre parcel. And he financed a mobile home that they put smack in the middle. But the bank only took back the 2 acres. I'm sorry. So they foreclosed on it. Now they've got half a trailer on 3 acres they don't own. And they filed a lawsuit, but they couldn't find him. And so because of our connections, we were able to track this guy down, and we bought it from him for $3,500 in cash for the 3 acres. And now the bank's got to deal with me.
They don't want to deal with you.
They don't want to deal with me. And so it took about 7 or 8 months, and we paid for the survey, and they redrew the property line. So we ended up with more good property. It actually created an extra mobile home spot. So anyway, long story short, we ended up trading that piece of property and a mobile home at $8,000 for the remaining balance of that $100,000 house that we had bought owner financed 2 years prior. And it was just...
So essentially, we ended up in the $100,000 house.
$140,000.
Yeah, $140,000 house.
62 grand.
Yeah.
And she was dead set. The only reason we got to buy it, because she had 12 people come offer her anywhere from 55 to 65 for the 4 weeks that we were talking to her. And part of that time frame was because I knew nobody was going to do it. And I said, look, I'll give you 60 in cash, but if that doesn't work for you, let's figure something else out.
Yeah.
And finally, I don't know, just, when the time is right, everything's right for the picking. Yeah. And I called her and I said, Miss Wanda, I figured out your problem. I figured out what we got to do. I said, do you have a calculator? She said, yes. And I said, look, you want $100,000, right? She said, yes. I said, okay, I think I got it figured out. Write this down. You said you needed 8 to 10 to relocate. Is that still right? Yes. Okay, perfect. I'm going to give you $10,000 the day we close. And then you said you want to supplement your retirement. You're going to put that money in the bank, pull out like $400 or $500 a month. She said, yes. And I said, I'll give you $500 a month. To heck with the bank. And I said, if the economy crashes, guess who's not going to close your account? This guy. I'll just keep paying you. And she was like, well, that sounds pretty good. And I said, best I can tell, if I pay you $500 a month for 15 years, well, that's 90 plus the 10 I give you at closing. That's $100,000.
Did the calculator do that?
The regular calculator did. They didn't meet up. And that's the thing, right? So if I had bought that house on a 15-year note financed and paid 7% interest or 6% interest or whatever, then effectively my purchase price was $65 anyway. Because you would have to buy it for like $60-65 at a normal interest rate on normal terms to end up with the same payment that I did.
Got it. So what do you think accounts to a lot of your success in your market? Like, what do you individually think gives you guys the upper hand?
The ability to solve problems better than anyone else. That's really all it is.
And I would add willingness to that. Yeah. So it's kind of like what we look for in a seller, right?
Yeah, willing and able.
Are they willing and able? The can and the will, right? Because some can, but they won't, and some will, but they can't. And I think it's the same for a lot of people that try to buy. And we go in, we don't, and that's why we end up with the creative stuff, because we literally don't take any. I mean, we've had houses where people were in a bind. It didn't make sense to do a sub 2, so you go get them to refinance on a lower rate, longer term, and spread whatever they can out as long as they can, and then take over their payments.
Because the payments now make sense.
And guess what? The cash they take away from closing are from the refinance, not out of my pocket.
That's just some ninja stuff right there. So I think
super secret spy
one
stuff.
of the things I was trying to get out of you, and you said it, is your willingness to solve problems better than anybody else. Yeah. I think that's huge. I think that's all this business is.
Yeah.
Right? We're solving somebody's problem list. Somebody calls you from a 30-cent postcard or from a $2 sign on the side of the road, they have a problem.
Yeah. Right?
But if you only see yourself winning in this solving this solution, you're not going to win the deal. You're not going to help, and you're going to burn out. You're not going to be here long. Yeah, you're going to get what I call unicorns. Hey, I want to sell my house. Okay, let me come by. Okay, great price. All right, sell it. Gone. Those are unicorns in this business.
Yeah.
That was your first deal.
Yeah, my first deal.
That was my first 2 deals.
Yeah.
Right. So I think now the willingness to be able to look at somebody's problem and solve it is big. What tips do you have for people that go in houses and talk to people? I mean, I know you do a great job at that. You talk a lot.
Is anything specific you're pointing to?
Well, no, just people have problems and think that it's difficult to go speak to a seller. What are some of the things you do? Or I know it's in your personality trait in general on how relaxed you are around people, but what tips would you give somebody, like being able to be comfortable walking into a house or talking on the phone with somebody?
I mean, for me, I would say realize there's just another person, and that people actually want to help other people. So when you come from a position of saying like, hey, I just need your help for a second, it sounds a lot different than like, hey, I need you, like, or hey, can you do this? Or versus the way I've structured it, right? So walking up and not caring about the sticks, the bricks, and the dirt, because none of that matters. What matters is what their problems are. How can I take away those problems and get you to where you want to be? The how, the who, the when, the why, all that stuff.
Makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want the honest answer,
yeah,
leave the damn ego at the door.
Yeah, that's
I think
true.
That's probably the number one thing, because they walk in and people either want to do it all themselves, right? Which, by the way, I've been doing this 17 years. There's not a lot of deals that I can't get done. I still call third parties in all the time, even when I don't need them, just because that process is more congruent and consistent with my willingness to help them. Hey, listen, I think I know what to do here, but just to be sure, I'm going to bring in my expert in this area. I TO it to my dad on pretty much every terms deal. I'll lay the groundwork and plant the seed, and I'll even play it off, even though I can take that calculator and make it smoke. But I won't tell them that. I'll say, look, this is kind of a unique situation. My dad's done some stuff like this before, where he took over payments or he made, you know what, I don't even want to get into it. Let me just get him in here. I don't think I can help you, but I know that he can.
It's easy for you to just switch it on like that.
But it's not, because it's not about me.
Yeah.
I don't care. I can be the lowest man on the totem pole, because if the deal gets done, I get paid. I don't care where I appear in that process.
Correct.
And it's not about the house. It's not about the house, and very few times it's about price. It's about what their problems are. Look, I worry about the people who have perfectly good houses that call our signs or click on our website or whatever, and they call us and they're like, well, he just lowballed me. I was like, you have a perfectly good house. Why wouldn't your first thought to be
list it?
Why does it call some guy when you know what they do is flip houses?
Call some guy off a bandit sign.
So I'm a little more worried about where you're at mentally versus where I'm at as a business, right? So
have you ever had one of those phone calls that ever turned into a deal? Like somebody with a full blown ready to go house? Like, why? Like, I get those. We get those a lot in our office. Like, I know some people sometimes are just fishing to see what you'd offer them to see how easy it is. But
the one deal,
I've never had one turn into a deal.
I had one on a bandit sign. The house, we put about $2,200 in it. It had a paying tenant in it for $800 a month. Could sell it for $95 as it sat when we got it. And keep in mind, this lady at one time, her and her family had 25,000 doors across the United States.
Wow.
This was the only one she had in our market. And she said, I've got some in Atlanta and I've got a few in some other places. It's harder for me to have one than it is to have 100. And I just don't want it anymore. And we bought it for 47.
Yeah, that was really the only one.
Because she just wanted, but that's pretty much the only one.
Yeah.
And it still surprises the hell out of me. I don't.
So you guys are down there in Mississippi. You have a lot of people coming to you because, I mean, you're what we talked about. Trevor and I talked about in podcasts is being the authority in your market.
Mm-hmm.
People come to you guys for advice.
A lot.
Yeah. How are you helping people out here recently? Like, how are you doing things?
Pretty much all of our competition we've trained in some way, shape, or form, whether it be our free meetups, them stopping by the office, helping them, mentorships, helping them through with deals. I mean, there's not very many people that are actively doing it that didn't get their first deal through us.
Yeah.
So. And I think a lot of it just depends on what they need.
Yeah.
So like some guys will come by the office, they got a question about something. Here's your answer. Hey, call this person. Here's the direction. We have some that come in and they need a little bit more help. So we might, hey, we'll JV it with you. We want 20% or whatever. Yeah. And then some of them come in and they say, hey, this seems like a good opportunity.
Did you just say 20%? All JVs are 50%. Don't you know that?
I didn't know that. I didn't know there was an industry standard.
One thing I would say is that we're just not greedy people.
Yeah.
So how many deals have we done for free this year?
We've done a lot.
3 or 4 at
least. Helping other wholesalers out?
Well, helping other wholesalers out or just getting the deal done for the seller. There was no room to make any money, no matter what. A lien popped up that was going to kill it. But the buyer was willing to come up an extra $2,000 or $3,000, but there was no money for me. Hey, you do good on the flip, buy me dinner later, or give me a little bonus. No big deal.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure this woman's not going to lose her house in foreclosure.
Oh, it makes perfect. That you're solving a problem. Sometimes you don't collect when you do solve the problem, but more majority of the time you do.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Absolutely.
The average works out well.
Yeah.
And it all comes back around, right? We solved this woman's problem, and she was literally. We just gave her another $500 check because she sent her, or was it her cousin?
Oh,
yeah, she sent her cousin.
Yeah.
She's like, "Oh, they bought my house in like a week. Go see them if you need some cash." He literally comes up to our office looking for us. We were out at a carrot camp, and Cece took a message, and we got back and called him and closed it in.
I think it was 3 days.
3 days, yeah.
Wow.
And we took his cousin the $500. And this is one thing is we try to make sure that whatever we say, we do it.
Right.
So when this lady closed and we bought her house, I said, just as we were taking a picture right before she left, I said, hey, if you ever send anybody to me and we buy their house, I'll give you $500. And we wrote the check out, and I was going to take it to her. I went to her work, and they said, oh, she doesn't work here anymore. She's been at this place for like 16 years. Yeah. I call her up, and I said, hey, I don't want to say her name, but hey, Miss So-and-so, like, I've got a little something for you. And she goes, okay. I said, can you come meet me real quick? And she came and met me. And when I pulled up and she pulled up to meet me, she was crying. And she said, I was crying at my house when you called me because I don't have any money. And I handed her that $500 check. And she said, I can make it on $100 a week until I get my
new job,
my next job.
Yeah. Amazing. Yeah, this business, you run across a lot of people. You get to solve a lot of problems, and you get to hear heartfelt stories like that. What's been working for you guys as far as some ninja trips? Like, what is some things that you've been working on that, is not really out there, but working pretty good for you? Or what's things that most people are not talking about, right? Everybody's talking about certain types of marketing. What's one thing you're doing that's working successfully for you?
Number one, I think it really honestly goes back to not being greedy people. Mm-hmm. So if we can help somebody in our market or somebody that has a deal in our state, like we're more than happy to help. And depending on how much work we're doing is doing based on what we feel like is owed to us, right? If all you did was call us and we just set up a buyer and it didn't take any more than one phone call, why do I need half of the deal? The hardest part of it is getting that deal done, right?
Yeah.
So
we just do one for 10%.
I understand it's powerful, and I understand I'm leaving money on the table. However, who do you think that person's going to keep calling every time they got a deal?
Yeah.
They're gonna call me.
What type of marketing stuff are you doing?
But yeah, marketing stuff is. I mean, Lead Sherpa right now is crushing it for us. I've been saying that for a while now, but
you still doing Facebook marketing?
Yeah, and I'm not touching my ads. So I've had my ads set up for a long time, and they've been running, and they haven't changed at all. Like I haven't changed anything. So the whole point of the Facebook ads is like it's just
so Facebook ads to find sellers.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, we had $100,000 a month, and 3 of those were Facebook ads.
It was March when we were at the WELIVE.
Got it. Yeah. So what is a? Tell me more about the Facebook ads.
All right. So it's weird now. Facebook sucks right now.
Yeah, it's always changing stuff. But tell me the idea behind it.
Yeah. So the idea is that my copy just speaks to somebody that I'm looking for, right? So what possible situations can they be in, and what is the solution, right? Close when you want. No commissions, no fees, no repair costs. All this stuff. Like I'm just sitting there writing out in the copy, and I give them multiple chances to opt in. So there's a link at the top, and there's a link at the bottom, and then obviously they can click the photo at the bottom, and it will take them to my website. The goal is to get as many people to my website as possible, so I can then retarget them for super cheap.
Yeah, the retargeting is very cheap.
Yeah,
so that's a very
important.
Yeah, I would say Facebook is advanced, but it's really it is advanced, but once you have it set up, it's actually cheap as crap.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, for what it is, it's the best form of marketing there is. Like for the best bang of the buck, there's a lot of things that suck about it right now. It was so much better in the glory days when they're using third-party data. However, it is what it is. We got to deal with it. I would still dump, if I only had one choice to market online, I would still dump all of my money into Facebook. Yeah, because it's just viral. And if I can hit you, the key is, right, like if you're sending direct mail, I have to hit you 5 or 6 times. Now I might have to hit you 20 or 30 times on a digital platform, but I promise you, because I catch myself buying shit that I've said no to 20 times before because it's on my thing, and then I finally click it because I went to it one time, and then now they're hitting me with everything, retarget. And I'm just like, okay, I bought it.
I'll buy this flashlight.
Like a blade.
I'll buy this.
Yeah, it gets me, right? Because I see it so many times, and they know I'm interested in it because they have all the data points on me. They know what I buy. They know what I like. Facebook is what excellent about that. So if I can get you to my site, I can then hit you with any message I want over and over and over and over. So who do you think, when they think about, okay, I'm finally ready to sell this house, they're contacting me.
Yeah.
It's like I would say the retargeting is like that blade of grass against concrete.
It's like being locked in a room with only one playlist for 24 hours.
You're going to eventually like that song.
Yeah, you're eventually going to know every word of it, right?
Yeah. That makes perfect sense. So to go back in some history stuff, we met a long time ago in the marketing world when we were traveling the country. And when we got into real estate, we went out to our first event. We went to the Sean Terry event.
Yeah.
And we were there, and that's where we met Dave Lecco from Deal Machine and all that stuff. But I don't know if you remember when I was in the room and I said, listen, I like these events. I hope one day I can put one on myself.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right? So it's funny that exactly 1 year later, WELIVE 18 happened.
I don't even think I think it was that weekend we started our Facebook groups.
Mm-hmm. It was.
Yep, it was that weekend.
Because we started the Facebook
We started our Facebook group. You started yours, and then we didn't do anything with ours because I was in South Carolina and he was in Mississippi. It existed, but it was not it's not what it is today.
Mm-hmm.
But
I've still got the recording of our little mastermind session with us and Derek in the hotel room talking about how we would do an event.
I got to get that.
Oh.
I'm still.
I didn't even know.
Leave it to the guy that doesn't know technology to have the recording. I got a paper transcript somewhere.
I got all typed up. So that's cool. We did WELIVE 18, WELIVE 19, 20's coming, but you now have finally came to things and said, listen, I'm going to go do you guys come together and say you're going to do Real Estate Roundup live in the Gulf Shore.
Yeah.
Is that right? Did I say Gulf Shore?
Gulfport, yeah.
Biloxi.
Yeah. Biloxi.
Pascagoula.
Yeah, down the road.
Yeah.
You guys are doing the Roundup in Mississippi in like
a month.
Yeah,
October
29
25th.
days from today.
Tell people more about the event. I know I'm speaking at the event. This is going to be cool because I love speaking about mindset to success and the mindset because and I'm speaking first. Am I speaking first?
Well, I mean, we'll open the show
Yeah,
up.
but I'm the first.
We'll introduce you.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, we'll introduce
And
you.
I think that's
But you're
good
the
because
first
I
speaker.
am going to, because like I tell people all the time, I can tell you how to go out there and be a successful real estate professional entrepreneur. But if you're not ready to receive the information, if your mindset is not ready, right? If you require a D battery and I'm sitting there with some double A's, get ready to give you some double A information, it's not
ain't
going to
gonna
fit.
work.
No.
It's just not going to work. So I want to make sure that your mindset is ready for the rest of the conference, for the next 3 days, that you are ready to receive the information so that you believe what's going to happen and you now know this is possible.
Yep.
That was the big part, because and you'll have some stuff that you can talk about, but like that was the biggest thing for me, because I'm really, simple folks from Mississippi, right?
Yeah.
Like we compartmentalize a lot of stuff, and just keep everything step by step by step, and that was a big part of how we designed the layout of the seminar.
Mm-hmm.
So right out of the gate, if your mind's not right,
None of this rest of stuff
none of
matters.
it matters. So
Right.
that's why, and it was in obviously you can speak on that, but then when we were in Dallas and I heard you tell your story the way that you did, I said, okay, Max is the guy for it.
What-
And we've pulled in speakers like that are experts in
At
their
that
segment.
particular part, yeah.
It makes me think of when Gary ripped into that guy at the conference. Where he's
Yeah.
like, I hate cold calling. He's
Why
like,
are you
I can't
even doing
stand
this?
Yeah, why are you even doing this? Why don't you just go home? Why are you even
But
here,
it's the
dude? Like,
truth
just go
though,
ahead and
right?
go home now.
Like you're trying to, you got a European outlet trying to plug into a
It's not gonna
American
work.
socket.
It's not gonna work.
And if you force it too hard, some bad stuff might just happen.
Yeah, it's going to happen. So tell me more about the event, the setup, the dates, the time, and all that stuff like that.
Yeah, so October 25th, 26th, 27th is at the Beau Rivage Resort and Casino, which is, if you've never been, it's in Biloxi. It's a gorgeous place.
Am I allowed
It's-
to gamble?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys
After-
get me a marker?
It's an MGM property.
Marker.
Yeah. You
What's
get
a
me
marker?
a marker at the casino.
A marker.
Yeah.
I mean, I got a marker in
A
my
loan.
backpack.
You guys need to take out a loan from me at the casino?
Oh, one of those?
No? No? Is that a part of the deal? Let me go back and figure this out.
You can tell I don't gamble very much.
I need a marker.
I just don't borrow the gambling money.
Yeah, definitely don't borrow it.
Take it straight out of the checking account.
Hey, I got this investment opportunity over here on the blackjack table.
It's kind of like,
I
hey,
need
will
to
you buy
split
this
these
gravel
eights.
pit
Come
for
on.
20,000 if I give you an option for buy it back at 100 in 60 days?
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
So tell me more about the
So yeah, October 25th, 26th, 27th, Beau Rivage, which is an MGM property. They call it the Baby Bellagio because it kind of looks like it reminds you of the Bellagio. Real nice spot. We got Brent Daniels. Obviously, you're going to be there. Robert Seifert, my wife, who, if for those of you who don't know, if you're
she's your attorney.
yeah, she's our attorney.
She's your closing attorney.
She is our closing attorney, which is fantastic because there's always something going on there. It's a really fun dynamic to have when you're just starting to touch like every little piece of every transaction, right? That's kind of the mission, is to start controlling little things, right? She's going to be there. His brother, who's a state senator, our state senator soon to be elect,
And very successful in business and real estate.
very successful in business, very, very successful. I mean, and his dad, 45 years in the business, still studies 2 hours a day.
Just bunch of knowledge is going to be dropped there.
It's
and
going to be
all
insane.
their segment. Like
That's what they're
whatever
specializing in.
so like Steve Trang is talking about running the appointment and making that offer. Because what he did in Dallas,
On the
I
phone
took
live.
4 or 5 pages of notes, and I don't do that very often at seminar. I'll have a thought and I'll write
Mm-hmm.
it down. Steve Trang was talking, I was like, damn, that's good. Just making constant notes.
Yeah, I mean, and everybody there was, we know, we handpicked for a reason. Like, you might not know them. They might not be a household name. Not all of them. Some of them are. However,
need to know 'em.
you need to know these people. And there's like Leon himself is well worth the price of admission.
Leon's
Just to hear
worth
him
$3
speak for
grand
3 hours.
He's worth $1,000 a day.
How'd you guys swing that?
He did a deal the other day. Let me just tell you, it was a 4-way deal. He walks in with 20 grand, does the deal with the first person. So let's call him A. So A brings in 20 grand, passes it to B to buy their property. B takes that 20 grand and buys a property from C, which also was going to pay off a note, but my dad took it and convinced them to walk it over to another property he had free and clear. So he picked up an extra 17 grand on a great term. Then he created a note, and then C passed it to D to buy a property, and then D bought a property from A, which was my dad, and as luck would have it, they passed him that $20,000 back.
So you got it right back.
So he did 4 deals, walked away with his 20 grand he brought to the table,
And
plus an extra 17, plus a note, an extra 17 that he got to walk the mortgage with,
Right.
plus a note, and I don't even know what he did on the actual deal.
Amazing.
But that's the kind of stuff, like he just, I'm good. He's phenomenal.
I can't wait. I think this is going to be interesting. I know it's going to be interesting. I'm waiting on my marker to see how big it's going to be. And then we're going to have some fun. But I won't gamble with my own money. So make sure we get the marker set. And if I win it, I'll pay it back.
Well,
you know, if anything, there's going to be a couple hard money lenders there, I think. So
I'm not taking no hard money to gamble. But no, this is great. I'm excited. Last time I've been to the Gulfport we're on the Air Force Base down there.
Oh,
I went to your wedding.
Yeah, you flew into Gulfport from.
Yeah, that's right. I was in your wedding. That's
I
right.
do have one thing I want to add for the event.
Please.
One thing that we fail to mention sometimes, but it is not any exit strategy specific. It is an acquisition seminar.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter if
you're
it's
a
a wholesaler, a flipper, a buy and hold guy. Any of the above.
Don't matter if you're just getting started, or if you've been doing it for 30 years.
I like that. I didn't know that. That's important. So this is
Yeah.
for people that are just trying to acquire properties, period. And you can dispose of them how you feel, whether you're wholesaling them, renting them, flipping them, put notes on them. You're going to have a lot of money in the room. You're going to have some hard money in the room. You're going to have some good cash buyers. People are going there to learn this actual trade of how to acquire properties.
Because
that's the beginning of any
There's
real
no
estate
money.
transaction.
There's no money to be made until you acquire something. Right?
100%.
I mean, that's all there is to it.
100%. So where can people get tickets?
www.rerlive.com.
And I'll make sure I put those below in the link, the show notes, all that stuff, because I'm going to be there. That's going to be fun. And I can't wait.
That's gonna be a good time.
When are you coming in?
Don't know.
You should come in on Wednesday.
Then you'll have my marker.
Then we'll have your marker.
Sounds like a deal.
They said they comped my room, so I know my credit's good for up to $150 or something.
No,
That'll get you 2 hands at the high roller table,
not even.
unless you got to split the
$100
eights.
hand.
Well, I mean, you got to win the first one. I mean, it's bad luck not to win the first one. If you don't win the first hand,
You might as well get up
you
out
might
of
as
there.
well go ahead and get up.
That'd be an early dinner. Well, maybe if somebody else has got a marker, we can
I'm
go
sure
eat.
you guys got a food budget. Don't worry about it. Look, man, I appreciate you guys both coming up from Mississippi, coming here, sitting in this place, talking to me about some good reminiscent times. I'm sure we're going to leave here, go eat some food, and actually we're going to do a meetup tonight.
Yeah.
So we're doing a meetup here live in my city. These guys are going to be here. I learn a lot from both of you when it comes to real estate. Adam's a genius when it comes to creating finances, and as promised, I need to learn to how to do one thing on that calculator before you guys roll out here back to Mississippi.
I'm going to show you. I'll show you how to buy a house for $100,000, sell it for $100,000, make $300 a month, and come out smelling like a rose.
Let's do it. I want to do it. Where can we guys find you on social?
So Instagram is Mr. Sippy. Yours is Big Sip.
Big Sip Real Estate.
Yeah, Big
It
Sip Real
kills me
Estate.
not to put the little ad in there. I feel like I just need to say at Big Sip Real
Nope,
Estate.
we know it.
Yeah, we know
We know
what
it's
that
supposed
now.
to be there.
And then
I just don't know.
obviously our Facebook group. That's really the best place to connect with us. Real Estate Roundup on the Facebook group.
You guys do lives in there and all
We
that
do a
stuff?
live Q&A every single Tuesday for 1 hour.
Nice.
And we just started taking people calling in. That was real fun. We did that last night and did some giveaways. But yeah, we do that every single Tuesday at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. Live Q&A. If you got a question, we answer it.
Love it.
Or at least do our best.
Yeah.
We don't know everything.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun. And it's been nice, because like I said, I tried so long to help people that it just got aggravating. But now it's been nice because Brent, that's one thing I'm thankful for Brent. He really opened the door because I'm a teacher at heart. I really am. I love to help people. And I know that most people weren't as fortunate as I was to have the dad that I had.
Yeah.
And still have. But because of Brent, it kind of opened up a door for all those people that
Speaking
were
of the right audience now.
Yeah.
There it goes.
And since then, he paved the way also. My best friend since the 3rd grade, one of my very best friends for the last 2 decades, and several others have come on board and are now working with us.
I love it, man. It's a community game. It's a community business. We all can eat from it. You're solving problems, making money. And I can't wait to see you guys in October. So I appreciate y'all coming up.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you. It's always fun.
Absolutely.
And as always, there's a new sheriff in town.
Yeah, I love that badge. Hey, guys, if you're watching on YouTube, please give me a thumbs up. Write the comment. Tell me what you like so good about this podcast. Which one was better? No, I'm just joking. Don't tell me which one was better. But give me a thumbs up. Give me a like. Also, give me a comment in the bottom. And if you're listening on iTunes, I appreciate you. Please stop, pull over, give me a 5-star rating. And always, I'll see you guys on the other side. Peace.
Thank you for listening to the Wholesaling Houses Elite podcast with Maxwell. Make sure to tune in next week to see what elite wholesaler will have in the hot seat.